Thank you, guys. As he was entering the studio, he gave me a smile, a sly smile. Like, Fabiano, you feel like you survived this one. This feels like a victory for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the position was so dead, and I was down on time too. I mean, that wasn't the biggest of my issues. Like, he was winning, and he allowed what I felt was my only trick. I mean, I think instead of rook f3, which is probably winning, but fg3, okay. Like, there's no need to cause these complications. And then after rook f3, I was happy I found this bishop h4, at least some chances. I mean, I thought...
you felt the lazy man's way of f2 takes g3 is just pretty winning.
What can I do here? My rook is trapped.
Yeah, we didn't see it either.
But another move that after rook takes f3 has to beg the question of what do you do after is knight to d5.
Yeah, this was what we were discussing. I mean, this is for sure winning.
Knight takes e7.
I have to take with something on, no, on d4, of course. Yeah, maybe this one, king e7, rook d3. I was thinking this is probably not many chances, although I can still try king e6, d5 and hope for something. But I was maybe thinking the rook on g4, so if I take the other way, I mean, I was sure it's losing after, let's say, rook d8, d4, take king e7, rook d3, let's say, yeah, or...
Wait, who catches this?
But perhaps you
King
can go
e6,
d5, right? After king e6.
King e6, d5, take d6 is, yeah, that's over. Yeah, so this is probably just hopeless. But yeah, he surprised me because at least like my moves become very easy after knight e6. I didn't have to worry about if it was losing or not because, well, I resigned with any other moves besides what I played.
And we thought at this point knight e2 just had to be played.
Yeah.
Did you guys consider this move?
King d8, I wasn't sure about
rook
it.
Rook f4?
Yeah, rook f4, take. I was thinking maybe rook d3, d4 is also a way, but okay, let's say rook f4, take, and probably king d7. I thought it's not 100% lost, you know? It's either lost or black will have significant drawing chances because, you know, I'm only down a pawn. The queen thought
e6, knight g6 not winning?
e6, king d6, knight g6.
Bishop somewhere e7?
Yeah,
King
let's say bishop
d7.
g5, e7, bishop g5 I thought. Maybe bishop g3, but e7, king d7, and I get some counterplay. White can start to run with the c-pawn, but you know, this becomes a mess. Well, running with the c-pawn, maybe I can just take on e7 actually, so.
Ooh, taking on e7 is a nice resource there.
I mean, also White has to calculate all sorts of pawn endings. This is a dream for me because his task becomes very difficult.
But
Very nice.
even before this moment, this move c5 that you played, we could not understand why you came to that conclusion. Can you explain your train of thought at this point?
Yeah, desperation.
Ah,
I didn't. I should have played a3 the move before.
Yes.
That's clear. Maybe this pawn sack is dubious. Maybe it's okay, but definitely a3 here and then knight d5. This is a better version.
Exactly.
Then knight d5, a3. I had calculated something which doesn't work, involving rook d8 and knight f4 and something. And then after burning a lot of time, I just couldn't come up with a better idea besides putting the pawn on c4, sacking b5, and hoping for some compensation.
We thought he played it very well. Did you feel also that he was playing it quite well up to this point?
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure because it's very difficult to say what's most accurate for both of us. But I mean, certainly he always kept an advantage.
Right.
You know, I thought this king f1 was a very nice move because it stops my knight f4 in its tracks because of rook e4.
Exactly.
Knight a7 first and then rook e4, let's say.
Exactly. So h5 also, like c5, a kind of a desperation move?
No, I just didn't realize how bad the position in exchange up would be for me. I thought I would have drawing chances, or at least not be losing, and then when I got there, I was like...
This cold realization that it's really a dead end, yeah? And yeah, at this point we thought, wow. And king f7, again, so many moves, sorry to say it, Fabi, but so many moves, not just of yours, but of his too weren't on our radars.
Well, what do I play here? I just
Have
didn't
no
see a move.
idea. We thought H4 or
Yeah,
rook.
but H4
No. Pardon. We did. We had Rook B8 on our agenda.
Oh, but Rook D3, Rook B2, Rook D7. I just thought
Rook
I can't do this.
Rook D3, Rook B2, Rook D7, and that was you just stopped right here.
Well, I calculated a little bit, but I thought this is losing.
Even though
Is that-
you've actually got a rook that I mean, this is maybe the first time you have something in the
But
position.
my active rook doesn't do anything. I really need to win this A pawn, which if I win it, then knight Fg5 comes, and I thought, okay, I'm getting mated.
Can you take it?
Yeah, knight
Knight
Fg5.
G5.
I give up my exchange.
Then I have to give up the rook, and I have to play rook B8, but his rook can go behind the pawn.
But why do you need to go rook b8? I can take bishop f8, right?
Hold on, let me catch up to the player. So rook
Oh, but
D7. You're saying if you take on A3,
Go ahead.
knight F3, G5, right?
Yeah.
But I thought King F7 was necessary.
Yeah, I think King F7 is probably the
But
only chance here.
But why is bishop a3 not good?
Okay, please. Bishop A3.
Knight Fg5?
Knight
I take,
Fg5.
Yeah,
And
and I retreat all the way back.
and rook D8. I just think it's over.
It's just not enough, yeah.
A3,
Rook A8.
A2, and then you just go
King
King
G2.
G2, yeah.
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 rook A2. And one day, the knight will land on E6.
Yeah, that's over.
Whoa. Okay, so King F7, I mean, desperation. And then you got to this position where, unfortunately for Levon's fans, he let you swindle him right here. And when you played the move G6, were you aware at this point that the engines were going to give you a 0-0? You felt that this was going to be a draw now?
Yeah, sir, I don't know if you're aware, but we don't have
I know. But did you feel that it was a draw? That was my...
I didn't see any way for white to, let's say, prove an advantage. I was thinking if he plays on, like knight
with-
c7, or
Yeah.
any knight move, knight c7, king d8, knight d5, I thought was very logical. And
Knight
then put the pawn to
C7,
e6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
of course, it's still dangerous for black, but it's also dangerous for white because I'll play
Yeah,
king d8
absolutely.
and run my g pawn, and his knights and pawn they're very good, but they're not really, promoting or mating me for the moment. King e8 here, I thought, and I didn't think I was worse, let's say.
So he could try to run a C.
Yeah, he can do that, but then his like c4, he has to start to calculate rook d1 and everything. This is not
Three-result
really
game.
Very result game, yeah.
not really what you want.
Exactly. He's lost control. Let's be very clear at that point. So, and at the very, very end, did you consider avoiding the perpetual?
Well, I only have one way, right? Which is
Excuse
after
me,
knight
sorry.
e6 back, knight c7, king d8, knight c6, I can play king c8.
Yes.
But first of all, I thought if he plays rook f8, I can't play king d7 because of rook f2, and I lose my g pawn. So I have to go b7, and
And you
like,
lose your G pawn. This
at the
is-
very least, right?
Yes, clear.
That's nice.
That is
So-
very nice.
So I have to go king b7, and I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm just mated at some point. It's like the only reason for me to play for a win would be because he was lower on time, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Not going to risk that.
No, I thought I'm more likely to lose than him if I do this.
It feels like in this tournament you've been a cat with like 9 lives. Whether we go back to the Jeffrey Zhang,
Sam Savian.
Armageddon, or the Sam Savian, you feel like you're living life on the edge. Fabi?
Definitely today.
Definitely today.
Armageddon, you kind of expect that. Today, I think I was outplayed fully for most of the game, and just at the last moment, I squeaked by with a draw, but yeah. But I also think in this tournament, like if you want to do well, you're going to need your fair share of luck.
Exactly.
There's no way. It's just such a difficult tournament, all sorts of time controls and
Right.
yeah, I think also Levon, like let's say yesterday, had his fair share of ups and downs.
A little bit of luck. No, just a
2 pawns
little
down
bit.
and a queen ending. Alejandro, get in there. We had so many questions about Fabi's play. Do you have any specific moment that really you just thought, I don't understand chess anymore?
All right, let's take it to the opening. I want just a question about chess. You got to this position after the move bishop b3, which was apparently a novelty. Explain to us a little bit what goes on through your mind here. No, before the move a4. You have all these options. Where do you think that this can get dangerous for black, and how do you make a choice on which move to play when you have so many options?
Well, I mostly considered a4. I think it's by far the most natural move. If I allow him to play a4 himself, he'll have a certain advantage. If I play bishop, yeah, queen e7, and I don't know if he takes first and then a4, I think white can only be better there. And if I play bishop b3, a b3, this is not necessarily a bad structure, but he gets d4 very quickly. I mean, I can play this like, yeah, knight g6, d4, and something, but I felt like more likely white is the one with the slight edge. And so I spend most of my time considering this complicated position after d4. Kind of when I found this idea of knight d7, I settled on this, and it looked like a harmonious position. So once I saw this, I decided that I can probably go ahead with a4 in this position. And I didn't really consider knight h5 too much. It really provoked me. I should probably play something besides knight f4. But
We thought queen e7 was a very
natural.
safe, natural. You keep your, but the move knight h5 was a surprise for you too. I mean,
yeah,
for us it was a
it's
big
just such
surprise.
a provocation, and as usual, I couldn't resist the most concrete approach. I should have just played something normal, and we would have gotten an easier game to play. While after knight f4, he really started to put pressure, and I think played very well with the take, e5. This is not obvious stuff.
No.
And yeah, I got a pretty unpleasant position. I mean, you'd rather be white here for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
Whew. Big game for you tomorrow, Fabi. We'll let you go. Thank you for joining us, and wow, great save.
yeah, absolutely, and gives himself a chance to finish off the tournament tomorrow. Remember, he will have the white pieces against Levon.
He wins. He's the American Cup champion.